Women need to stop caring so much about money and about materialistic things and about their career and caring more about getting a man and making that man happy. Why? Because when you learn to make other people happy and you learn to put other people first before yourself, you'll learn by default to be a happier person, a more humble person, a more centered person. That idea about focusing on your career and making a lot of money and all these, luxury materialistic things being sold to you are a lie. Are a lie being sold to you by toxic. Okay, get that out of your head, because you might be happy for a small little period of time, but once your 40s hit and you're rich but alone, you're going to be miserable. I have never in my life met one single rich lady that is happy when she is single. No one in their right mind is happy being alone. Men and women are supposed to be meant to work together and be happy together, not fight each other. So get that materialistic idea out of your mind and start looking for a man and start being more humble.
Fam, I understand this is 100% her opinion, and there are plenty of women out there that will argue against her point of view. Everyone has their right to do that. I don't believe she is giving this advice from a harmful point of view. Let's not sugarcoat it. The idea of telling women to go against their natural instincts and be equally content as a man by doing the things that make men happy is flawed to its core. The difference? It was far easier to get young women to believe they would be happy wanting what men wanted than getting young men to believe they would be happy wanting what women wanted. No offense, ladies, but women tend to be group thinkers far more often than men. Fam, how exactly did women buy into the idea of,
I'm tired of submitting to my husband who is going to take care of me. I'm going to be liberated by submitting to a corporation who will eventually fire me?
The idea of living in a home with kids and a provider was seen as some prison sentence, while working late hours to make someone else richer was sold to you as freedom? Gee, if only someone could have seen how that was going to work out. Moving on.
Independent financially and all those things, and I kind of pursued my career for a really long time. I pursued my academics for a really long time. I really appreciate all of that, but I think as you get older you realize how unfulfilling all of those things are, and when you're sold that dream for a really long time, you're so convinced that that can't wait, and you're so convinced that marriage, kids, and becoming all of those things that are more traditional can wait, when really biologically it's the other way around. So for me, I would say it's been a mistake.
Here's a fun feminist fact that is really inconvenient for the radical feminist narrative. Simone de Beauvoir said, "No woman should be authorized to stay home and raise her children. Women should not even have that choice, because if there is a choice, too many women will make that one." So she's literally saying we should not even give women the choice to stay home because we want them in the workforce. And tell me who's pro-woman again?
Let me take these on one at a time. To the first queen, I have to say, it's good to hear some honesty. Ladies, there is absolutely nothing wrong with admitting to yourselves that deep down, your happiness comes from maintaining a beautiful home, raising your children, and making your husband happy. And like she said, there is a set window of time to do this. Stop thinking you're going to be the exception to the rule by making a basket from midcourt just before the endgame buzzer. Be realistic, and things just may work out for you. Either have a family and dream of being rich, or get the bag and dream of having a family. Choose your struggle, you can't have both. To the second queen, I really don't have much to add to that. Basically, she is saying,
I'm giving you freedom by not giving you a choice in that freedom.
Kind of sus to say the least. Funny how that goes along easily with Aaron Russo's claim before he passed away that the Rockefellers funded women's liberation for tax and indoctrination purposes. I'm not saying I believe all that, but isn't that exactly what happened? Yeah, but what else can go wrong? Moving on.
Went to find the podcast. Saw that the second episode was about feminism, and kind of like how we've been sold a lie. Let me go and see. I forget what the title. That's right. The title is The Trap of Feminism. And it's just interesting how so many of us seem to come to the same conclusion all at once, that like, wait a minute, this whole line that we were sold about feminism when we were like young and impressionable, like, you know, early teens, early 20s, that kind of time, we really did get sold a line. Like, they kind of promised us that if we went ahead with this way of thinking that it would solve the problems, men would see the error of their ways, women would understand their value, and we would just like up to the sky together, and we're gonna break the glass ceilings, and there will be no need for glass ceilings because, hey, we're gonna be equal, or not equal, but at least our time was going to come. That was the lie that was sold to us.
Other than the fumbling, those were her words, fam, not mine. Apparently, women are coming out and making more videos claiming they were sold a line on the Great Liberation. Be equal to a man in everything, and the streets will be paved with gold, while your problems will melt away. My question is, what actual problems did women have that were so atrocious? I had already covered women's issues in previous episodes when women got bank accounts, voting, DV, and the Equal Pay Act. Ladies, let me be more specific. Were the old problems that you had better or worse than the new problems you brought onto yourselves? What new problems, you may ask? Well, single motherhood has drastically increased since the 1960s. Women report now that they are less happy than in the past. More women are on antidepressants than men. Women are contracting STDs at a higher rate than men. Women now are experiencing higher rates of poverty than men. I could go on, but was it all worth it?
So as part of this, what I'm going to call great lie of feminism was, I'm sure if you're a millennial around my age, you will remember this. It was the girl boss era that was presented so neatly packaged on Instagram, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, this probably was a psyop. Kelly is probably onto something. But why would I say that it was a psyop? Very carefully constructed Instagram photos. Now that I'm no longer doing that, I can see very clearly how this was kind of like a trap for us.
That moment you realize you were hoodwinked. Do I feel bad for these women? I feel for them the same way they feel for the men who have been cleaned out in family court. Don't get me wrong, fam. I applaud this queen for waking up and smelling the burned bras. But that doesn't change the fact that the choices were made. Notice how many women want to hold men accountable for preparing future generations of men to do better, but very few women say the exact same for future generations of women. Listen, fam, I'm not kicking someone when they are down. I'm just saying, hey, you got beat down like the rest of us. Now pick yourself up.
It got us in our male side of the brain nearly constantly. So it should really be no surprise that maybe for some of us our relationships with men suffered in those years. It's because we were kind of in a lot of ways acting very masculine ourselves. So now I can't stop thinking about how the whole girl boss era was basically a trap for us. Some of us have since dove out and escaped, and now we're over here on this ledge saying hey, wait a minute, I don't think feminism is what it's cracked up to be. Crap, I'm gonna do a part 2.
Part 2, Kaween, you really need to work on getting to the point. It sounds like she is just realizing that a good chunk of her relationship issues stemmed from the sisterhood groupthink of do what social media and celebrities tell you to do. Am I saying men don't fall for the same thing? No. I am saying that men realized early on how women were allowing the boss babe malware to infect/install themselves deep in their systems, thinking it was the ultimate patch update, only to find themselves as post-wall single mothers struggling to pay bills and asking, where are the good men at? Oh, the good men were the antivirus certified software packages all of you rejected because they were too corny.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content.
If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms.
If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.